Hey guys, welcome back to the Juice Reacts channel and welcome to another top 10 video. Also, before we get started, I want to just say happy Thanksgiving to everyone that does celebrate Thanksgiving. If you're not in America, you probably don't celebrate Thanksgiving. But everybody in America watching this video, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you're having a wonderful time with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones. Eat a lot of good food. Tell some good stories. If you're into football, watch some football. It's a good time. And by the way, what are you doing watching my video on Thanksgiving? Spend time with your friends. Go spend time with your friends. Come back to the video when you're done eating the turkey and you're on that like cool down where you're in a food coma. Just pop on my video and relax for about a half hour with your boy. But go spend time with your friends and family. But now that you're done spending time with your friends and family, and you've had enough turkey, you've had enough stuffing, you're stuffed yourself, let's get down to the real nitty-gritty. Let's get down to a top 10 moments from season 1 of High School Musical, the musical series, specifically the Thanksgiving episode. I was thinking about what video could I do for Thanksgiving on the channel. I didn't want to do just like a normal Thanksgiving video where I like rank the best Thanksgiving meals or the best Thanksgiving items. I've done that before. But then I realized that in season 1 of High School Musical, the series, they rolled out a Thanksgiving episode, and boy, was it something. I'm pretty sure episode 7 of the season, Thanksgiving. It has highs, it has lows, and it's got everything in between. It's a very good episode. I've got my top 10 ranked right here. I was struggling to like put them in an order. I feel like I've got the top half pretty good, but this whole list, you could mark some things a little bit higher than others, or than I have it here. You could mark things a little bit lower than I have things. It's a very fluid list. Out of every list that I've done, this is probably the one where the top 10 really, except for a select few, maybe like 3, any one of them could be number 1 or number 2. Like it's a very weird list when you're trying to, it's a very weird thing to do one specific episode and pull 10 separate moments from one episode. Luckily, this episode had a lot in it, so it was a little bit easier for this one. But if I was going to do this with like a random episode in season 2 or season 3, it'd be a little bit harder to pull 10 separate moments from it. I feel like maybe I should give it a try. I don't know. But this is going to be the top 10 moments from the Thanksgiving episode, season 1, episode 7 of High School Musical, the musical series. If you're going to enjoy, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, leave your lists down below in the comment section. I would be happy and I would be thrilled to read your guys' lists about what your top 10 moments be, where you would put some of these moments, or if I left out a moment. But I feel like I've gotten the 10 most important moments from the season, or from the episode. But maybe I haven't. I'm pretty stupid, so maybe I forgot something. That's a very good possibility. This list will include some good and some bad. As we know, we've all seen that episode many times. We know that there's a lot of funny stuff, a lot of good stuff that happens, and some not so good stuff, and I've pulled from all of it. So, starting with number 10, this moment really is like, I know a lot of you guys aren't going to enjoy this one being on the list, but hey, I've only got one episode to pull from. I had to find something. But you guys aren't going to like this because it involves a particular character that you guys, I know, don't like that much. This one is going to be Nene discovering Yak. So basically, I have this one at number 10 because, one, it involves Nene, and we all know how we all feel about Nene. But it's on this list because it is, in the grand scheme of the entire series, it is a pretty critical moment, because this is the moment where she talks to, I forget the girl's name that she ends up becoming roommates with at Yak, that EJ gave the hot egg to at summer camp, and she took the role. Nene took the role and became Marion the librarian, or whatever it was. I forget the name of her in the show, but I'm pretty sure that actress passed away in real life, so R.I.P. to her. I don't remember her name either in the show or in the thing, but I'm pretty sure I heard that she passed away. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. I do that a lot. I'm getting off topic. This is pretty critical in the grand scheme of the episode, or in the series, because this is the moment where she finally discovers that there's something outside of Salt Lake. There's a chance for her to grow and become more of a independent artist and grow her talents and stuff like that, become more fulfilled. And she in the first couple episodes, once the whole Ricky drama kind of cools down a little bit, she kind of she feels like she's lost and she's stuck in place and she can't really be herself and all this stuff. And when she discovers Yak, then she feels like her whole world opens up again, and she's got all these possibilities and all these things. So this moment really kickstarts the whole saga of her eventually going to Colorado to attend Yak, and then her coming back home because she realizes that she should have been here all along, and then her doing her own Instagram channel, her separate Instagram page where she does the singing, and then she blows up, and then she talks to Jordan Fisher, and then like this moment really kickstarts that entire Nene arc. So that's why I have it number 10. Number 9 also involves Nene. This one is going to be Ricky calling Nene buddy. I thought this was pretty funny. I had to put it on the list. If you're not familiar, earlier in the episode, when Ricky shows up to Ashlyn's house to attend the Thanksgiving party they're having, Nene calls Ricky a buddy during that whole sequence because Ricky shows up with Gina, and Nene doesn't like that because she's starting to get those feelings back for Ricky, so she gets jealous that they're having their like inside jokes and all this stuff. And so she gets a little jealous, and then she calls Ricky a buddy, but then after everything happens in the episode and Ricky leaves the party disappointed and sad and upset, Nene tries to like console him and talk to him, and he isn't having any of it, and he calls her buddy. I think his exact words were, "I don't need advice from a buddy," or is it advice that he says? I can't remember. He says, "I don't need something from a buddy." And he says it all sassy too. "I don't need anything from a buddy." And then he just walks away. And he walks out the door. And Nene is obviously upset because she's hurt that she thinks that, oh, maybe we're getting closer again. And then he blows her off like this. So Ricky in this episode towards the end is pretty sassy, and I like it. So that is going to be number 9 on the list. Number 8 is a very interesting one. I want to bring this up in a live when I do eventually go live. Oh, by the way, I apologize for not being live more frequently. I've had a lot of stuff go on with being behind on other channels. I've had to make a lot of content for other channels, and it's kind of taken away from this channel. And I've also had just life stuff in general that I've had to take care of, so it's kind of taken me away from the Juice Reacts channel. I did get the HSM trilogy, the third movie, uploaded, so we finally finished that trilogy. That's all done now, so go watch if you haven't seen it. And I'm hoping to go live more once the Thanksgiving holiday is over and we start to get into early December, because I like talking to you guys. I have fun talking to you guys on the lives, and we have a great time. So I'm hoping to get back to that. But that's mainly the reason why I haven't been. There's been so much stuff I've been trying to do. I've been trying to catch up on other channels. I've got 4 channels, so I've been trying to make sure everything is right, especially my main channel. So it's just been pretty hectic. But I just thought I'd mention that here, since you might be wondering, why hasn't Juice been live? I did post about it on my community tab. If you're curious, that's usually where I keep updating people, or I give my updates on what's going on to let you guys know. So if you're curious, go to check the community tab every once in a while. There might be an update. But anyway, I say all that because number 8 is an idea that I want to bring up in a future live, because I feel like we could get something together and make this actually a reality. So it is Carlos debuting his High School Musical board game. I'm pretty sure the name of it, he calls it the High School Musical, the Choosical. No, High School Musical, the Choosical. Is that what he calls it? Is there something in between? High School Musical. I feel like there's something I'm missing. High School Musical, the Choosical. I know the Choosical is part of it, but that might be it. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, it's this big board game that he created in his room, and he never got to play it with anybody else because he didn't have any friends. So he created this whole board game, and he brings it to the party because he finally has friends to play it with. So they all gather around and they play it, and eventually Gina wins, or Gina's team wins, and she becomes the MVP and all that stuff. So I want to bring this up because I feel like we could create a board game like this and play it. I feel like that's possible, or not a board game necessarily, because that's a physical thing that you'd have to do. So maybe like an online board game type thing where we create our own trivia thing about both the series and the movie. Like that, I think that'd be pretty fun. But I bring that up, I want to bring that up in a live, see how you guys react to it. So that is going to be number 8 on the list. I've always wanted to play it too. Number 7 is going to be one of the more sad ones. It is Ricky calling his mom to wish her a happy Thanksgiving, but ending up getting or having somewhat of a conversation with stupid Todd. Todd picks up. I can't believe the audacity of a boyfriend to, obviously she's told him, I would hope, that depending on how long he's known her, or she's known him, I would hope that she's mentioned that she has a son. So, the fact that she's in the shower, he sees her phone ring, and he sees that it probably says Ricky or son, or however she labels him in her phone, or with a profile picture maybe of her and him together. Like, I'm assuming there's some indication on her phone that it's her kid. Why would he have the audacity to pick it up? Like, I mean, you've never met the son. You don't know how he's going to react. He doesn't know that you exist. So, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Personally, if I was in that situation, as in the Todd situation, I would never pick up the phone if I knew that was going on. So, that's not my place. And it wasn't Todd's place, but he did it anyway. He's got the audacity. It's insane. And Ricky obviously gets all flustered as you should, and hangs up, and like, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. It reminds me actually of the movie Jingle All the Way. If you've never seen it, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's a Christmas movie, and in the movie he's trying to look for the Turbo Man doll for his son Jamie, and played by actually the kid that plays Anakin Skywalker in the Phantom Menace, if you didn't know. So anyway, and another tangent. Anyway, in the movie, while he's looking for the toy, he goes in the payphone. This is made in the 90s. So he goes in the payphone, calls his house to talk to his wife, and the neighbor, the creepy neighbor, who has a crush on Arnold's wife in the movie, picks up the phone because she's taking a shower. And the reason I bring this up is because he picks up the phone, and Arnold's wondering what's going on, and he's asking where Liz is, because that's her name in the movie, Liz. So he's asking where she is, and he's like, "Oh, she's in the shower. You want me to go check?" And that just made the fact that Todd says that she's in the shower makes me it reminds me of that scene in that movie. "Yo, you want me to go check?" Oh, it's a classic line. It's great. If you've never seen Jingle All the Way, give it a shot. It's really funny. It's a great Christmas movie. It's wonderful. I watch it every year for Christmas, so it's fantastic. But anyway, that's another tangent. I keep going on these tangents. That's what you get when you watch this channel. But anyway, that's number 7 on the list. Number 6 is going to be a pretty important one in terms of the relationship of these two. It is going to be Mr. Mazzara solving the basketball Troy levitation problem that Miss Jen was having. You know, when Miss Jen and Mr. Mazzara both leave their Thanksgiving parties or whatever, their family Thanksgivings, to go back to the school because they don't want to be at their house. So they go back to the school. Miss Jen works on figuring out how to levitate the basketball or levitate Troy in the play, and Mr. Mazzara is working on his like, I think he calls it a 1/4 scale model or 1/16 scale, whatever it is, of his robot for the event that they're doing, the competition that his team is going to be doing. So they're both working there. Miss Jen goes to the restroom, and in the meantime, Mr. Mazzara does a pulley system thing and fixes and solves the problem. So it really kind of changes Miss Jen's perspective on Mr. Mazzara, and then obviously we'll get to what happens later, but that moment I really feel like kind of turns the switch for Miss Jen, and maybe even for Mr. Mazzara, that maybe there's a little bit more chemistry there than we once thought. So that's number 6 on the list. Now we're into the top 5. This one, number 5, does include Nene again. I feel like I have to prefaces some of the things by saying prefaces preface. I feel like I have to warn you guys when I bring up a Nene thing, just to kind of temper the waters a little bit. So this one is about Nene. It is Nene Once Out of the Old. So obviously I used it as the title of the song. Basically, Ashlyn tells Nene in the episode that she needs to start writing songs for herself and not for boys, because that's kind of Nene's thing. She writes how she feels about boys in songs. But Ashlyn, it backfired on the last time because she wrote the song that she loves Ricky and put it on Instagram. It backfired. And so Ashlyn says, write something for yourself. So it leads to this, where Nene, as she's thinking about going to Yak or exploring those options, she pulls out this song. She creates it. She sings Out of the Old. So, and then we get a montage of Ricky being sad, and Gina's packing up her stuff because she's leaving, and it's a big montage. It's sad. We all cried, and it's a good song. It's a good song, and it creates number 5 on the list. Number 4 is going to be another Miss Jen and Mr. Mazzara one, and this is what I was mentioning earlier. I mentioned it very quickly, very briefly. It is Miss Jen and Mr. Mazzara burn down the stage. So they basically, once Mr. Mazzara fixes the problem that Miss Jen was having, and once Miss Jen fixes the problem Mr. Mazzara was having where his robot wouldn't stand up straight on its own, she says, oh, I rented a movie, Big Hero 6. It's about robots. And so they go, and then we transition back to the very end of the episode when Nene is doing her song Out of the Old, and the montage is playing of the different people, how they're ending the episode. It finishes on Mr. Mazzara and Miss Jen on the couch in the break room, and they have the laptop on their, like, in between them, so because they're watching Big Hero 6, but they left, I'm assuming Miss Jen left the outlet sparked. It was like on, and it sparks, and it catches fire. The school, that part of the building catches fire, and it ends up burning down the theater, the stage. So they end up having to go to the El Rey Theater, I think is what it's called, and then that doesn't work out, so they go to the gym, is where they end up doing the play. But that moment really is pretty big. That's why it's top 3 on the list, because I mean, it creates the whole drama for the rest of the season. They have to find a new place to stage the show, then they got to move again, and like it creates all this different stuff. So that moment really is like one of the most important moments of the entire episode, and maybe even of the season. Now we're on to number 2, and these ones are 2 that, one we love, absolutely love, and one that we don't love so much. Number 2 is Gina Has to Leave. In the episode, Gina her team wins the Choosicle, the board game contest, and she gets the pin, the ribbon, but she wants to call her mom, tell her that she won, tell her that she's hanging out with the friends and stuff, and she wants to ask if she can stay over the night because the girls are having the sleepover at Ashton's house. But during that call, her mom tells her that they have to move again because her mom works for, is it the Red Cross, or she works for some government organization where they have to move around to different disasters. I think it's the Red Cross, or maybe it's something like that, something similar like that. But anyway, doesn't matter. They have to move again. So Gina obviously is upset. She tells Ricky. Ricky gets upset, which leads to our number 9, where he calls her Nene a buddy. But one of the funniest and most underrated lines in that entire episode, and maybe of season 1, is when Ricky is leaving the house initially. Nene's right at the door, and she says something along the lines of, oh, it's crazy what happened. And Ricky's like, yeah, I was there. Rick, I love Ricky so much, man. He's so good. The comedic timing for that line was pretty good. But anyway, we're all sad. Gina has to leave. She's crying. We're all crying. We're all heartbroken. Obviously, we know how it pans out, but in that moment, when you first watch that episode and you're starting to get attached to Gina and you're starting to like this idea of her being there and her being with Ricky, then it's snatched away from you because you don't know what's going to happen. She's going to leave. So that is number 2. But number 1 is really the polar opposite of number 2. It makes us happy. It makes us full of joy. It gives us the goosebumps. It gives us the butterflies in the stomach. It is number 1, Gina giving Ricky the hat. And I have specifically in my notes, I have the fully capitalized because it is the quintessential thing that sparks this whole relationship, really, in my opinion. I know that the whole homecoming thing is really the first moment where Ricky's like, wow, I like this girl. And that really is the moment that starts the relationship or starts whatever they end up becoming, the relationship and all that. But the hat, I feel like the hat is the first like physical thing that shows you that both of them like each other. They just don't know how to say it. And so the fact that she spent her time, however long it took, I don't know how long it takes to knit a hat, especially when you're learning it, because she learned on YouTube. I don't know how long that would take, especially maybe if you're a little bit more experienced, it wouldn't take you as long, but who knows? I don't know how long it took, but it took her, she had to physically sit down, watch YouTube videos, and learn how to knit Ricky a hat. The audacity of Gina to knit Ricky a hat is crazy. Absolutely insane. But then the fact that Ricky puts it on, and then the fact that in season 4, he keeps it on him every single day, and he says it's his literal favorite thing ever, and the fact that she wrote down, I love you, Ricky, in the stitching, I can't believe it. Insane. Absolutely wild. I'm still not recovered from it. Unbelievable. That's long-term storytelling. And, crucially, in my season 1 reactions, all the way back, all those months back when I first reacted to this episode on my channel, in that episode, I said that the hat that Gina gives to Ricky should be in a museum. And I stand by that. It should be. That hat is the physical thing. Like everything else is not really physical. It's just like verbal or emotional or stuff like that. You can't really grasp onto that, but you can grasp onto this hat. This is a physical thing that Gina did. She had the audacity to do it, and then Ricky had the audacity to keep it. And it's crazy. So, like this hat is like historical. It's famous. It's the thing. That's why I have it capitalized in my notes. It's unbelievable. And I want to mention when Gina leaves. Initially, when she's like upset, she's getting her muffin pan, Ricky says, should I call you? And then Gina says, or no, he says, can I call you? And Gina says, there's not really any point in calling me anymore. So that implies, the fact that she says anymore implies that they had been calling frequently back and forth with each other, or texting, or all the above, sending cute emojis to each other. Who knows? I'm just saying. It was coded from the beginning. Unbelievable. So that is my top 10 Thanksgiving moments. It's a really good episode. It's one of the better episodes of season 1. And I feel like there could be a couple more moments in there. Obviously, there's a few moments with... I just forgot. I skipped over number 3. Wow, I'm dumb. I told you in the beginning I was stupid. I skipped over number 3. I was going to say there's moments with like Big Red and Ashlyn, and then I looked down at my notes. I skipped it. Number 3. Number 3 is Big Red and Ashlyn having their moment. Which, by their moment, I mean... all throughout the episode, Big Red's flirting with Ashlyn, Ashlyn's flirting with Big Red. But at the very end, when they're cleaning up, Big Red finds the piano, and he says, oh, is this where you wrote that Sarah Bareilles song? And Ashlyn's like, who told you to say that? That's literally the greatest thing anybody's ever said to me, or whatever. And Big Red's like, oh, it's just the words make me sound like a Sarah Bareilles song. And so, like, they have this connection there, and then Ashlyn gives Big Red the leftover lobster dip, and their hands touch, and it's a big moment, and that's their moment where they're like, oh yeah, we're into each other. And so then that leads obviously to the end of season 1 and on and on. So I can't believe I forgot I skipped over. I apologize. I didn't mean to skip over it. I guess I got too excited to get to Gina and Ricky. But now that is my top 10 of Thanksgiving moments. There are, like I was saying before, there probably are some other moments in the episode that I may have left out that you could consider on this list. But I feel like these 10 are probably the most important ones in the episode. They're the ones that contribute the most to the ongoing storylines. They're the ones that are pretty much the most important ones for season 1, season 2, and on and on. So if you enjoy my list, let me know. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. As I said before, let me know down below in the comments what your list would be. Would you change anything that I had? Do you think my list is pretty spot on? Is there anything I left out or I forgot? There probably is. Like I showed just recently, I'm very dumb. So I probably forgot something that maybe should be on the list. Let me know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like again. Subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Once again, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it, especially on Thanksgiving when you honestly should be hanging out with your friends and family. But if you're done with that, you're sitting down for the night, you're resting, you're settling in, letting all that food digest, just put this video on and just relax. That's what I'm here for. Treat my video as white noise as you drift off into that wonderful food coma and then get ready for Black Friday. Because Black Friday could be crazy depending on if you go out and shop or if you just, it could be chill, normal day if you shop online. But if you actually want to go out there and test the elements against other people on Black Friday, go for it. Just be careful. But thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly, truly appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. I wish I could give you all a big hug. That's going to be my list. That's going to do it for me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.